I've mentioned in the past how I have this endless death loop I'm stuck in, where I'll realize I need to make some changes. I'll make the changes, and now I'm getting better with the changes, and now I'll do the changes for a while, stay consistent with them, and then slowly over time I stop doing the consistency, stop doing the good things, and I'm back at the bottom where I realize I need to get back to the top. And like I said, it's a death loop. I'm still stuck in it to this day. Recently, I reflected on my life and I was like, man, like, when are we going to get serious? There's all these things I want to do. I want to start reading my Bible first thing in the morning. I want to start waking up early so I can go to the gym before work or before school. I want to start going on hikes. Like, there's all these things that I want to do, but I don't do them because I stay up late at night. And whenever I do wake up the next day, whenever I'm supposed to, I'm too tired. I'm like, man, forget it. Like, we just gonna do it some other time. And that right there is what gets me. It's me going to sleep late, and whenever I have to wake up early, I just don't want to get out of bed because I didn't get enough sleep. So it is my own demise, and I've recognized that. And this is to me and to everyone else who might be in the same situation as me. It's time to grow up. It's time we put our big boy pants on. If you're around my age or a little bit younger than me, or maybe even older, like, we are becoming the new adults of this world. And do you want to be an adult who is irresponsible, who doesn't take accountability for their actions? Or do you want to become an adult prepared? You do all the good things, you have all these good habits, you do the things you're supposed to do when you say you're going to do them, and your level of discipline, it's exceptional. That's where I want to get, and that's where I want to stay. And so, I slept on it. I was like, you know what, let me just sleep on it, see what happens. And I had a dream. I can't remember specifically what the dream was about, but when I woke up, the title, "Don't be like the 99% of men, become the 1% man," was on my mind. And I wrote it down too. I'm gonna repeat that again. Don't be like 99% of men, become the 1% man. I've had these thoughts where I'm thinking, okay, what does it mean to become the 1% man? What does it mean to be in that 1% echelon, that 1% bracket of being a man? And even if you aren't a man watching this, and like, you're a woman who wants to do good for themselves, I think this will still apply to you. This will still help you. With that being said, I think one of the first things to change within yourself to become the 1% man is to humble yourself before God. And if you haven't humbled yourself before God and you don't even know who God is, find God. In 1 Peter chapter 5, verses 6 through 9, it says, "Humble yourselves, therefore, under God's almighty hand, that he may lift you up in due time. Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you." Now, if you're not super religious or even like believing in a higher power, I'd say do some research into that, because the deeper you look into life, the more you realize there is a higher power. Furthermore, I think to become the 1% man, you have to pick up your cross daily. In Matthew chapter 16, verses 24 through 26, it says, "Then Jesus said to his disciples, 'Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me will find it. What good will it be for someone to gain the whole world, yet forfeit their soul? Or what can anyone give in exchange for their soul?'" To me, the meaning of picking up your cross daily means fighting against your flesh, or fighting against those daily struggles you have. So me, it's those struggles of waking up early, of reading my Bible early in the morning, of praying in the morning, of going to the gym in the morning. By me fighting against that is me picking up my cross daily. By forcing myself to do the good things I want to do is me picking up my cross daily. So the same thing can apply for you. If you want to cut back on the junk food you consume, that's picking up your cross daily by actually fighting against that. If you want to start going to the gym, that's you picking up your cross daily. Anything that brings you instant gratification, by holding that off and putting it to the side and denying it, is you picking up your cross. That is you denying your flesh. Another thing you can do is, and this doesn't have to be immediate, but it should be a long-term goal, is taking care of your peers, like your friends, your family, your community. In 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 8, it says, anyone who does not provide for their relatives, and especially for their own household, has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. So it's also Christian belief and Christian values to take care. Of course, take care of yourself, take care of your household, which means your family, but also take care of your peers, your neighbors, just your community, because the people you help out will return help you out. And not only that, but you're dishing out good in the world, and good karma for sure finds its way back to you. Furthermore, love everybody, including your enemies, especially your enemies. In Matthew chapter 5, verses 44 through 45, it says, but I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, that you may be children of your Father in heaven. He causes his sun to rise on the evil and the good, and sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous. Furthermore, even before that, Jesus says, you have heard that it is said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I tell you, do not resist an evil person. If anyone slaps you on the right cheek, turn to them the other cheek also. Now, I know for some people, this is like crazy talk. It's like, what the? Someone gonna smack me? And you think I'm gonna do nothing about it? You think I'm gonna let someone smack me and turn my other cheek? I get it. And of course we feel like that because we're human. But God calls us to love our enemy, because at the end of the day, if God could send his only son to earth to teach us, to love us, and to die for us, and still forgive us, who are we as his children to hate his other children? He calls for us to love each other because he loved us and we killed him. Another point, you have to understand this one thing I'm about to say. Life is not physical. Life is spiritual. Now, obviously it's physical, right? Like, I'm here. I exist. I can feel this. Everything around me it's physical. But once you remove the veil, once you dive deeper into your spirit, you realize life is completely spiritual. For example, have you ever came across a person who's just constantly negative? Like, anything that comes out their mouth is negative, and you can even like tell them like, hey bro, like, be more positive, and they just kind of like attack you for trying to correct them, and they continue in their own ways of being negative. A person can look at him and be like, oh, he's just a negative Nelly. But someone who understands life on a deeper manner and understand life is spiritual can see that man has an evil spirit attached to him. That man has some he has evil energy that's just sucking the life out of him. And you can call it crazy all you want, but until you learn to remove that veil by diving deeper into your spirit, by reading your Bible more, by connecting with God more, by having some time to meditate on the word, having some alone time, you won't see this. To you, to an average person, it sounds like crazy talk. But once you remove that veil, you truly see things for what they really are. Ephesians 6 verse 12 says, for our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. The Bible specifically mentions the heavenly realms. Realms, spiritual realm. There are multiple realms in earth. The one-dimensional realm, the two-dimensional realm, and the three-dimensional realm. And I think, I think I watched a video that says that there's like 12 or 13 dimensions, but we can only see up to 3. So if there's all these other dimensions, scientifically proven, by the way, this isn't me just like spewing hot Bible stuff. This is scientifically proven today. To say there's all these other dimensions and we can only see 3, who are we to say we know it all? We see it all. We see it. Furthermore, on that point, light, we can only see light. We can't see radio waves. We can't see infrared waves. We can't see X-rays, gamma rays. We only see light waves. So it's like, don't assume you know everything, because I promise you, you don't. And guess what? You will never, ever know everything. Understand that this is a battle against spirit, not a battle against flesh. On a lesser biblical sense about how to become the 1% man, It really boils down to taking 100% accountability of the things you have control over. Taking 100% accountability of your shortcomings. If it is in your control, you can do something about it. It doesn't help to sit there and throw a fit and say, oh man, there's nothing I can do about it, when there is. So for instance, me waking up early and being too tired to actually get out of bed because I go to sleep late. I have 100% control of that. I can easily stop going to sleep so late, go to sleep early, or if I do still decide to go to sleep late, I can still force myself to get out of bed regardless of how tired I am. That is something I have 100% control of. On the contrary, something I do not have 100% control of is the way somebody acts. So like we just talked about, the pessimistic guy, I can't control him. I cannot tell you, hey, stop being pessimistic. But what I can control is him being around me. I hope that makes sense. If you have control over it, you can change it. If you don't have control over it, don't stress over it, but keep it away from you. And furthermore, into that point, control your flesh. Do not let your flesh control you. If you let your flesh control you, it will lead to your demise. And I think a lot of you guys already know that. Eating the junk food whenever you want to eat it, eating the candy when you want to eat it, maybe indulging in instant gratification for a bit too long. You do that every day, and now you, for some reason, you feel depressed, you feel miserable, you feel empty inside. You wonder why you feel so anxious all the time. It's because you're constantly giving into your flesh. Your flesh will only destroy you. But by telling yourself, no, I'm in control of my flesh, I will tell my flesh what to do. Sure, it might suck for a little bit, but over time, you will start to get fulfillment out of life. You will start to get enjoyment out of life. You'll start waking up happy. Your depression, your anxiety will disappear, and you will get this sense of purpose. If you don't believe me, just try it. Try it for 1 month. Just deny your flesh, control your flesh, and all the bad things you want to do, don't do it, but do the opposite. Do the good things that you don't want to do. And the way you get this good feeling, this satisfaction out of life, is by pursuing your goals relentlessly. Pursuing your passions relentlessly. Whatever you like to do for fun, whatever it is that you spend a lot of your time on, let's say you have homework, but you're procrastinating by doing something else, that is what you should be pursuing relentlessly. Let me clear that up. Whatever hobby you enjoy, you should be trying to turn that hobby into an asset. It's a long journey. It brings you satisfaction. And it's just another flow of income, something that you genuinely enjoy. There's a saying, it's like if you do the things you love, you won't work a day in your life, or something like that. And basically what that means is if you're pursuing your passions and turning your passions into your job, if you're making that transition from a job you hate, but doing your hobby on the side, it'll slowly turn over to you doing your hobby full time and maybe your job less and less. So it's that transition. Job you hate, passion, slowly turn that over to where you're eventually not even doing a job you hate, but pursuing the things you love. And now it doesn't even feel like you're working and you're just making money doing the things you love. So pursue those passions relentlessly every day. You have to pursue it for a long time. This is a 10 years game. You have to look 10 years from now and think to yourself, okay, how do we get there? What can we do today, tomorrow, a week from now to get to that goal? You will also become the 1% man by minding your damn business, bro. Mind your own business. And I got this from the book Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. I might be butchering that. But in the book, he talked about minding your own business by literally minding your own business as in like staying in your lane. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Worry about yourself and what you're doing. And by focusing on your business. That should be two things. Focusing on your business, whether that's literally your business or whatever you have going on in your life, and staying in your lane. Don't be looking over someone else's shoulder to see what they got going on. Worry about yourself, because at the end of the day, it's just you. Worry about yourself and work on your own goals. Everybody else already has enough on their plate. You have enough on your plate as it is. Focus on you, and that's it. And finally, the last way to become the 1% man is by being okay with being vulnerable. And this took me some time to learn, but I for sure learned a lot this year. It does not make you weak for showing your emotions. Now, that's very different to say letting your emotions control you. We do not want our emotions to control us. We control our emotions, and sometimes we can't even control our emotions, but overall, by denying what you're feeling, by bottling it up and ignoring it, is not healthy. It is actually more manly to express what you're feeling, whether that's sorrow, frustration, depression, whatever it is you're feeling. By expressing that and by being that vulnerable, to allow certain people, now not everybody should have access to your vulnerability, but by being vulnerable to certain people, the people that mean a lot to you, it's a true symbol of gratitude for that person to witness you be that vulnerable, and trust. Me being vulnerable this year, it definitely built my connection with my friends and family a lot more, and it's made me a better person in the end. By finally accepting the emotions I feel and not ignoring them and bottling them up, it allowed me to mature in a way I didn't know was possible. So don't shy away from being vulnerable. You should actually welcome it. And that's it, guys. I know this video was longer than my usual videos, but man, this has just been on my mind, and I really just wanted to get this out. So I really hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope it gave you some type of insight on how to become the 1% man. Please, guys, listen to this and really take this advice seriously, because I'm taking my own advice seriously, and it's time we make some changes, guys. It's time we grow up. We're the future. Thank you for watching, guys. Toodles.